Hello Internet, welcome to my YouTube channel. Later. Now, using a socket wrench, remove the center bolt holding the steering wheel. Once the bolt is out, gently wiggle and pull the steering wheel towards you until it comes off the spline. Be patient and avoid hitting it too hard.
$2,000 later. Meanwhile,
Next, I'm removing the steering column covers to get easy access to the clock spring and the wiring harness. Take your time here, these covers are held by a few screws and clips, so work gently to avoid cracking the plastic. Using a Phillips screwdriver, unscrew the single screw holding the bottom cover. Remove the two screws securing the top cover. Carefully unclip both halves and set them aside safely. After the steering wheel is removed, you'll see the clock spring unit mounted on the steering column. Disconnect the wiring connectors going into the clock spring. Unscrew the mounting screws holding it in place and carefully remove the old clock spring. The rest of the tasks were quite straightforward. I started routing the wiring harness along the stock wiring path, securing it neatly with zip ties, all the way to the stereo. For the illumination wiring, I tapped into the stereo backlight wire. The red wire was connected for illumination positive, while the negative was grounded securely to the chassis of the car. This ensured a clean, reliable, and OEM-style installation. Position the new 6-pin clock spring onto the steering column and align it correctly. Secure it in place with its screws. Once mounted, connect the 6-pin coupler to the clock spring and make sure it clicks firmly into position. Finally, reconnect the horn wire to its terminal. Now, connect the horn pin from the clock spring directly to the wiring harness coupler of the car. Double-check that the connection is secure before proceeding. Reattach the steering column covers. First, fit the top cover into place and secure it with its 2 screws. Then, install the bottom cover and tighten the screw, ensuring all clips snap together neatly without forcing.
Nice.
Before installing the steering wheel, ensure the contact coil, clock spring, is centered. Most new clock springs come pre-centered and are held with a blue lock pin. Once the steering column is set to the center position, remove the blue lock pin to unlock the clock spring. Next, align the steering wheel with the markings made earlier on the spline to ensure it remains straight. Slide the steering wheel carefully onto the splines without forcing it. Finally, insert the center bolt and tighten it using a socket wrench until it is firm and secure. Make sure the wheel sits flush against the hub with no play. Connect the steering wheel control button male coupler to the clock spring securely. Take the horn pad assembly. Carefully position the horn pad over the steering wheel frame, aligning the mounting points correctly. Once aligned, press the horn pad firmly into place until the clips or screws lock it securely. Ensure the pad sits flush and does not wobble. Double-check that the horn pad moves freely when pressed and springs back properly, confirming correct installation. Alright guys, that wraps up the DIY stereo upgrade. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment to let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Now let's begin the process of uninstalling all the parts and safely storing them until we reinstall everything later. The first step is to disconnect the negative terminal of the battery to ensure safety. Next, move to the dashboard and carefully start removing the plastic trims covering the stereo. For detailed guidance, you can always refer to your car service manual on how to properly uninstall the stereo system. Using a Phillips screwdriver, remove the 2 screws that secure the stereo unit to the dashboard. Once removed, keep the screws safely aside for reinstallation. Gently pull out the stereo unit. Be careful not to tug too hard, as there will be wiring connectors at the back. Disconnect these connectors one by one, making sure to note their positions for when we reinstall everything later. After disconnecting, store the stereo unit in a safe place where it won't get scratched or damaged. Next, I opened the male connector for the stereo, carefully unclipped it, and pushed the stereo control pin into pin number 19, and the stereo ground pin into pin number 20. I secured them properly in place as shown in the picture. Since my stereo does not support Bluetooth functionality or microphone input, I did not connect the Bluetooth pin to pin number 8. For the illumination wiring, I tapped into the stereo backlight wire. The red wire was connected for illumination positive, while the negative was grounded securely to the chassis of the car. This ensured a clean, reliable, and OEM-style installation. To avoid tapping into existing wires and risking damage, I connected the illumination ground wire directly to the chassis using a screw. This ensures a solid and reliable ground connection without disturbing the stock wiring. Start by reconnecting the male connector to the stereo, along with the antenna coupler, USB, and AUX connectors. Once everything is plugged in, carefully slide the stereo back into the dashboard and secure it in place. Next, route the extended wiring harness along the stock path. Use zip ties to hold it neatly and ensure it doesn't interfere with any moving parts. Finally, separate the signal and illumination wires inside flexible nylon sleeves for extra protection. Screw the stereo back to the dashboard.
India Post Payment Bank.
Sense of humor and make a